Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life Behind the Music, where we cultivate conversations around music and God's truth. I am your host, Kathy, and
I'm your host, Micayla. Welcome.
How you doing, Kay?
I'm doing so good. I'm super excited about this interview today.
I know it. These are my friends, and they're your friends because they're friends of I'm going to call Life Behind the Music LBM, you know what I mean?
Yes.
A little something like that, But yes, we are very excited about our guest today on our program. And so we're just excited about what you'll learn from our guest today. And I know you have to stay tuned because it's just going to be awesome. So Without further ado, I think we need to get into the word of praise for the week. All right, take it away, Kayla.
All right, well, the word of praise for this week is believe. What are you believing for? What are you believing God for? What is your faith in? Where does your heart lie? Where are your desires? When it comes to your belief, what is it? What are you believing God for? Because basically, when it comes to faith, faith comes by hearing by the word of God. And so in order to increase our faith and in order to believe that God's promises are true and to stand on his promises, we have to first believe. But, but that's not all, because believing is only the first step. Once you believe, that is when God will truly come into your heart and he will show you his love for you. He will show you his worth or your worth in him. Yes. And he will show you all that he has in store for your life. So just believe.
Yes, amen. That's encouraging.
Thank you. All right, so you want to hop into the music room?
I like it. Yes. We have some new music coming out on the scene here. So stay tuned for I Believe.
Together we walk side by side. That's how it was meant to be. You see, nothing else matters, no. Our love is for eternity. And you are my shining star, yes. Our love will never depart. Holding your hand with my hand in yours. It is such a wonderful feeling. This Christmas holiday we share. I believe in you and me. I believe in you and me. And our love will always be. You know, this is my favorite time of year. And babe, when I look in your eyes, I couldn't imagine not having you here. You lift me up when I am down. True love in you I have found. I've never known a love like this before. My heart leaps, takes flight, and soars. And sharing our love is what my heart longs for. Christmas carols by Marvin Gaye. Like snow in the wintertime, I'm falling in love with you again. I believe, baby, in you this Christmas. It will be, yes, it will be, yes. A very, 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 very special season, baby. We're gonna have a real good time. It's gonna be real, real sweet for you and me. And this Christmas.
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in to I Believe. That is a new song from a new movie that is going to be releasing soon, which we will be interviewing the director and the founder of KMW Productions, Kyria Williams, and Derrick Mullen. We are super excited for them. Kathy, I know you're excited because I'm excited.
It's good. It's good. I can't wait. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Without further ado, this is Life Behind the Music with our interview with Kyria Williams and Derrick Mullen. Stay tuned. Welcome to the show, Derrick and Kyria.
Hey.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, indeed.
Now, we are super excited because you guys have a new movie coming out, which we will talk about. But first, we are so curious. How did you guys meet?
Derrick, you want to take that?
It's always funny when this story or when that question is asked. And Kyria and I met actually doing insurance. We befriended one another actually in the insurance industry. And I laugh about it because it's something that we still deal with together today. So so put it this way, we was in business back then, and we're in business again, making films. So I think it's definitely a divine connection, how we actually really got together. But insurance was the way how we met.
Wow, that's awesome. So let me ask, okay, so I know you guys, and but I do not know, how did you go from plays to playwright to the big screen? You know, what happened in there?
So basically, how we transitioned from stage to film is basically we went to a film festival, and I'm actually like fast forwarding this story because it's a long story in itself. However, Derrick, Trey, and we went to a film festival in Florida in 2016, I believe it was 2016. We went to a film festival, and while we were at the festival, we talked about making a film. And we were saying, we positioned ourselves to come back home, try to shoot, to make a movie. And we all said to ourselves, you know what? Do y'all think that we can make a film, submit it to this festival, and be back next year with our film?
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Year?
Yeah. So we went to the festival. We pretty much positioned ourselves to, we challenged ourselves to be able to come back, because we already had a stage play, The Wake Up Call. And so, we put together, we say, hey, let's make it into a film. We turned it into a film, and we pretty much challenged ourselves to submit it to that same festival the following year and be back there showing our film. And that goal was accomplished.
Well, Kyria, what made you want to go to that festival, though? I mean,
I was gonna say that she kind of skipped like she went from A to like M. So the part where it really all came together is because Kyria was already doing stage plays. There, she had very successful stage plays.
Yes.
I think she didn't have a lot of success as far as getting them onto video at the time, so it could be seen. So she could show it through the other YouTubes or what have you.
Yeah.
So I admired what she was doing as being a stage playwright and putting these stage plays on. So I said, hey, let me just come in and let me just shoot it. I just want to shoot it. And I actually didn't even ask for permission, really. I just actually took my iPhone and I just started recording the stage plays. Then I took all the footage back and edited to where it looked like a film format, so to speak. Although it's all stage, kind of like just to use, use Tyler Perry, like how Tyler Perry shows that you see his on stage plays, like on EPs.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what we did with the wake up call. And then
Yeah.
from that, now we move over to letter J. No, I'm saying, but now we move over to where, okay, hey, let's check out this film festival. Cause I said, like, you know, we all got together and said, I think we can make a film. And then from that point, we challenged ourselves that, hey, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
And then from that point, that's where we now end up from now the wake up call into the new film.
Now, Derrick, have you always done the filming and all? Have you always done that?
See, and that's where the God comes in. You know, that's where the gifts that
Well,
God
he comes
gives us
in from the beginning of the
Yep.
whole movie.
Well, let me say it like this. Let me say that's where I discovered what my gift was. Actually,
Okay.
say it like that. Because I've never been to film school. I had no idea really how to really shoot a film. I don't want to say I had no idea, but I would say this. My background stems from working at Blockbuster for like 10 years and being always around movies and looking at backgrounds of how films are made. And I think it just all came together.
Oh,
so I was
God.
in training, I guess, and then never knew it.
Amazing. This is what we're talking about
It
today,
is.
Micayla, is believe.
Yes.
You know, and so that's what you guys have done. You had to believe,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
see it, and move forward with it. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I
Wow.
also think it's amazing how, Derrick, you literally invited yourself to shoot her play with your iPhone. Like, you didn't have a professional camera. You didn't have all of the equipment. You had an iPhone, and it just shows like a testament of God's glory and how God can take the smallest things and turn it into something so big.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what happened, because literally prior to him taking upon himself doing that, I had hired quite a few videographers or, videographers to come out and shoot my stage plays. But every single time I would get the product back and it was just unacceptable to me.
Mhm.
And so I would literally cry. I would cry. I'm like, why is it so hard for me to get a good looking stage play, And so I truly believe now, looking back on it, I just believe that God wanted to get all the glory, and he set it up. He divinely connected this. So literally saying, I can take something this small. I can take something. People will come in with their big cameras and all their lights. And I'm like, okay, this time is it. This man that came in with a little bitty little phone, and I'm like, so he had fun. And when he submitted it, he sent it over. He said, here's your stage play. And I looked at this, the quality, everything was so amazing. So I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. And that's nothing but God. God did that.
Wow.
He connected this thing. He knew where it was going. He knew what the direction that he was leading us. And he wanted that connection to take place just like it did. And it did.
This is something I'm thinking about this song. Little becomes much when you place in the master's hand.
Yes.
Kyria. Kyria is a woman of God. She's a woman of faith. She believes when God speaks to her, and she moves in it. She's not running around telling people, God said this, God said that. One little spot.
Sometimes.
And boy, well, I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Since you guys have been working together, but she's like a sponge. She's taking it in. And I remember when she sat with Pastor and I, and she was sharing, or was it both of us, Kyria, or just, okay. And so this was just God speaking. So we have to go forward and do what God, he's going to take that little seed, that thought, and then he's going to shape it and mold it. But we have our part to do. We just got to keep stepping, though. We got to keep moving. And they have done that. Yeah.
And I always say it like this, is that he matched our faith up together. Like her belief compared to with my belief.
Yes.
It was, so it's like, even, and we always talk about how even times where if I doubted, she would lift me up, and then vice versa. So so we made a film, and already we're making our second film, completed our second film. So
yes, I want to dive into your second film. Now, you guys have, or you just said you completed the second film, it's ready?
It's pretty much ready. It's ready. Yeah. We just doing some fine tuning, but it's ready.
All right. So A New Husband for Christmas, the new film. Tell us about it. How'd you come up with the concept? What are we looking forward to? Like, spill everything.
When we start? Oh, you gonna start?
You can start. It's fine.
Well, okay. So again, so the we keeping with this format of from stage play to film. So Kyria had another stage play called Marriage Works If You Work It. Now, I'm gonna be honest, before we get into that, before that, she had one called Moving Forward, and we had already shot. So we already said, oh, hey, we're gonna take Moving Forward, and we're gonna make that the next film. So we had already shot a trailer for Moving Forward with the intentions of actually creating a whole film and to screenplay.
Okay.
But then she produced Marriage Works If You Work It, and when I saw Marriage Works If You Work It, I really liked the story, the humor, the message. And I said, hey, you always wanted to do a Christmas film, so if we're gonna do a Christmas film, this will be the one. And we came up with a title the first time. I think the title was called the Marriage Holiday, the Marriage Holiday. But in fashion, as like when she gets her messages from God, she said something came to her and said it's gonna be called A New Husband for Christmas. And
anytime Eric agrees with me like instantly, I know it's God. I know. Because he will challenge me to the very end, you know. And so as I'm writing, sometimes I can have my plan in place, I can have the title, but if he gives me something else, I got to go in that direction. And as I was typing, I just heard A New Husband for Christmas, and I'm like, that's it, that's the name of this movie. And when I reached out to him, it was just like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like, I like the title that I had, but then I had to, then it really, when you really heard it and it really resonated, I said, nah, New Husband for Christmas, that's the one. And it's definitely, it's proven itself already. The title alone is already, to me, magnetic. Because
Marriage Works If You Work It, actually, and again, basically it came from, of course, you know, Ark of Safety, my pastor, that's pretty much like his saying, you know, marriage works if you work it. And so I wrote the play based off of that saying, you know, and so literally the message in Marriage Works If You Work It is literally the exact same message in A New Husband for Christmas. It's the same concept and everything. We just changed the title. We're not trying to fool nobody or trick anybody, but it's literally the exact same message.
Can I add that Kyrie and I, we co-wrote the title song, Marriage Works If You Work It. But isn't that awesome how we can receive that seed from God when he speaks a thing and it just ignites in your heart and your spirit, and it's like you don't have to look to the left or the right. It's like, this is it. This is it. Let me ask, what were some of the challenging things that you all experienced in doing this film, A New Husband for Christmas?
Well, I will actually say, let me start off with this. When we originally put the schedule in place for the film, I was kind of questioning why we were starting so early, you know, because typically when you're doing a film, you want to go towards the spring or something like that. But literally we started this January the 6th. And I'm like, this is really early. I mean, we went straight off the holiday to January, we shooting the film. And honestly, we literally got done shooting our film right before COVID hit. I mean, literally right before COVID hit. Like because we actually had to stop our project, because sometimes I will get to them challenges, but we had to stop our project for a second and push it back for 30 days. And Derrick had to go, because Derrick lives in Atlanta, he had to go back home and come back to St. Louis after the 30 days so that we can shoot, but it had nothing to do with COVID. So after that 30 days was up, he came back, we shot our last day, and then COVID hit just like that. So God was in the midst of this.
Yeah. I like the way you all, because I kind of witnessed how you scheduled, what was the first one?
It was the
wake up call.
But man, the way you all scheduled A New Husband for Christmas, I mean, they were rolling. They had a tight schedule, and it was like everyone knew when they were to be, and you guys are learning along the way, you know, so you make adjustments, and
yes, we are.
it was
Yeah,
really
as far as like, and even as far as like the challenges, even when it came to filming, one of our, I think it's always a common challenge that we have is scheduling. I mean, when I say scheduling, I mean like just because we're trying to pack so much in a short amount of time, because we don't have a Hollywood budget, so we can't afford to have people span out several weeks or months at a time to shoot a film, and we don't have that type of schedule where we can obligate a location and have it for weeks at a time to shoot. It's like literally when we get, so if we had to shoot a certain scene, we only have a day. And if that means from 7 a.m. to 5 o'clock in the morning for that one day shoot, then that's what it will take.
Wow.
So our first open challenge, even on, I think the second day of shooting, one of our stars that was actually cast in the film originally didn't show up. For whatever reason.
She got sick.
She got sick. I'm sorry. She still didn't show up. So, and
what kind of director, boy? He's pretty.
Look, because honestly, we tell our actors, you better be on set unless you dead. And you better be all the way there.
You're gonna do
I mean, hey. That was one of the first challenges, but we had luckily we had our stage director from Marriage Works, If You Work It, on set as an assistant director, and because she somewhat already knew some of the script, she had to kind of roll right into that role, and she had to start learning the lines day by day. The second challenge was someone just decided to renegotiate our location that we had outlined, and we weren't having it. We weren't doing that, and so that's what pushed us from ending our film shoot on January 20. Well, I guess it would have been January 28th, to pushing it another 30 days out. Yeah. But it was also a blessing, because when it comes to filming, location is everything. Like that gives us all the production value for when we're shooting on a low budget. As we're shooting, when you look at this film, you're gonna ask those questions like, "Wow, what was your budget?" But our budget was so low, we couldn't afford to get all the little high end locations. But I would say again, it's that God being over the whole production, that we had a location that worked out great for an office. And you're gonna see it in the film. You can say, and that was like a blessing. That's all I can say was a blessing.
Absolutely.
Oh, you want to say something, Kyria?
No, I was just gonna say, actually, another challenge of ours also is because sometimes when you're dealing with locations, even if you want to go in a day or two early, then with our type of budget, we can't really do that. So a lot of times our locations, we're seeing it the day of our shoot.
Oh, yeah.
And so at that time is when Derrick has to figure out, okay, what angles, what direction, what this, what's that. And then one of our locations, we get there and it's literally like empty, So I'm literally calling like our stage designer, like on hand, like I need you to bring everything you got, And so our stage designer, she was there and she was able to kind of, decorate it a little bit more to what it was, because one thing we don't want is blank walls, in our films. And so we were just, we had those challenges to where, hey, we need this decorated now. So.
Say that just shows the power of God still. Because He wants you to learn along the way. And Kyria, you said it in the beginning, so that all the glory belongs to God. And the other thing, don't despise small beginnings.
Yes.
It helps us to appreciate when we get to that place.
Yes.
Did you want to go forth, Micayla?
I did. One thing that Derrick touched on was how this was, like you had to do it within a budget, and how it was, more of a lower budget film. And so I'm so curious because, God tells us to use what we have, and you guys have truly been a testament of using what you have to create for the Lord. And I'm curious, how do you guys fund a movie? Like, how does that happen?
Yeah. So we were actually able to, we did 2 different campaigns, actually. We did an Indiegogo campaign, and we also did a campaign on Facebook. And so out of those 2 campaigns, we didn't hardly hit near what we were trying to raise, but it definitely helped. And so again, when we do have those things, and of course we have to go into personal accounts, you know, we definitely have to reach into our personal accounts, and, you know, we got to do what we got to do, you know, and so that is definitely another challenge. And so we reach into personal accounts, and, you know, sometimes, you know, our community come in and help us out as well, as it relates to putting these films together. But one thing we know about us, we not stopping. I don't care if we had $2, we was gonna make it happen, and God was gonna get the glory. He was gonna make it happen like he always do.
Amen.
You know, so, and sometimes people will stop. I know a lot of people, you know, God has given them things to do and different dreams and different things that they're supposed to accomplish through the will of God, but because they're looking at their circumstances or looking at how is it going to happen, I don't have what it takes to make it happen, then they never do it. As opposed to, you know what, I'm just going to put my foot forward, and God told me to do it, so he's going to make it happen, you know. So when he tells us to do something, we just got to get to moving, and he's going to bring it all together. We don't know how, but he'll do it.
I'm gonna say this, I always liken it to when God asked Moses to throw the stick in the water in order for it to split. Now, Moses didn't have an idea that's what's gonna happen. He just, you know, he got to the water and said, okay, what you want me to do next? And God said, well, I already told you what to do. I need you to just throw the stick in the water. I'll do the rest. And sometimes we just have to be obedient and trust the process, because I'm gonna say this as a testimony, because there's locations that personally we should have paid for that we didn't. And it's not because we couldn't afford it. They literally is like, oh, don't worry about that. We had literally have someone ask us, well, how'd you get into this location? Because they don't let nobody in. It was like, oh, so I mean, we literally was like, well, to be honest with you, it was favor. Oh yeah, I hear that, but how did you really get in? I'm like, no, it was favor. I can't explain to you. They let us in. I don't know why they charged you, but they let us in. So
honestly, they don't even charge anybody their locations. They don't let you do it.
Yeah,
they
don't let you do it. So, and
we literally had to go back twice. So we filmed our location. Wow. We filmed it, and then because it wasn't, you know, we needed to go back and do it again. I went back and asked the lady, can we come back again? And literally, when I say yes, you can come back, they closed off the rooms for us. They put out signs. I mean, private location. I mean, literally, they went above and beyond.
Favor.
That's God.
That's
God.
Mm-hmm.
That's God all day long.
That's God.
I want to ask something, and Kayla, you can take the other. But in this pandemic, you know I have been dealing with, you can look at the news and you can look at situations around you, and you can even look in your own home. It's gotten that close to us. You know, my cousin, my favorite of cousins, which is Michaela's dad, contracted the virus. And I'm telling you, we almost lost him. We almost lost him. And my heart just goes out to those who have lost loved ones. And I think I'm going to ask you guys this question, but we need to be encouraging. We need to be sending messages out that would minister to the hearts of people. And I just have this question: what do you want your viewers to take away from this movie?
You want to take it? You want me to take it?
I'll let you go first.
All right. So basically, of course, the film deals with marriage. And so basically, of course, my goal is for our viewers to walk away basically just saying that, and it doesn't necessarily just have to be you're dealing with a struggle in a marriage. It can be whatever your struggle may be, you know, that if we include God in our struggles, if we include him in the midst of it, no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like, no matter what people are saying, no matter even if it turns in a completely different direction, that our trust should be in him. Our trust should be in him. And sometimes things go way south before we start seeing progression and before we start seeing the change that we're praying and that we're hoping for. But as long as we stay in position, and as long as we don't, you know, fall and give up and be discouraged and throw in the towel, then as long as we giving him something to work with, then he can work with us. and he can come into the situation. So that's basically what I want the viewers to walk away with, that don't throw in the towel. No matter what it is that we're going through, no matter how things may look, stay in there, hang in there, keep fighting, keep going. And the end result, whatever the end result is his will.
Yeah.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you top that? No, but to add to that, even I think for what I want people to walk away with as well, with even just our fortitude or just the being obedient to the calling that God has, because I can tell you right now, again, I didn't really think that I'll be doing what I'm doing today, but because of the relationship I established with Kyria, and we met each other during a time where she actually really somewhat became my spiritual advisor. Mm-hmm. So we grew together, and I think that trust and that bond and being able to say, hey, this is what God can do with your little when you do work in obedience to the call. So I want people to walk away with, like, this is what God can do when you're obedient. Yeah. Again, I don't like, it's always easy to say, like, oh, this is what I did, but I know that everything that I have comes from the gift that God, instilled in us, and using that gift for his purpose. Because it's very easy to go out, and I can go out, Minister Horry know that I told her how I used to sing. I can go out and sing the worldly music, or I even filmmaker, I can go make all these other films that are for the culture, so to speak, with all the cursing and following the industry standard that you have to have sex and cursing in order to be a success. And I just truly believe, and I'm going to continue to advocate that we're going to continue to do this right here, because I know Hollywood or whoever, I'm not trying to please them, but I know they can't ignore when you see that when people gravitate to something, they can be changed through a film. And so.
Amen.
Awesome.
Amen. Well, we're going to take a quick break and show our viewers the trailer to A New Husband for Christmas. And when we return, we're going to dive into the music in the movie. We'll be right back.
And this is your girl, D. Marie, with Be The Voice Live at Mix 99.5, the heart and soul of St. Louis.
Ladies, what are you asking Santa for Christmas?
Girl, I'm not asking Santa for anything, but I'm asking Jesus for a new husband.
I at least want to give our marriage one last shot.
Did I interrupt something? You want to take a break and go get some lunch?
I'm fasting. I need you to help him to understand.
Do you know that you living in an apartment?
That's my house, Stan.
Your house.
This is not you. Ladies, it's Christmas Eve. Snap out of it already.
She only look like this when she going out. She don't look like this all the time.
So y'all honestly don't think that it's possible to be happily married? No.
All right, so welcome back, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed the trailer for A New Husband for Christmas. Let's talk music, because you guys, the three of you, Kathy, Derrick, and Kyria, you guys have come up with a soundtrack to this movie, and one of the songs in the movie is I Believe, which was written by Kathy. How did this collaboration, this triangle collaboration, how did that come apart?
Okay. Well, I knew I worked with Minister Horry, before with I'm trying to remember which I guess when we was working with Marriage Works If You Work It, and from the title song of that stage play, I knew that I wanted to I knew I wanted her in this next film, because I feel like everything's always deriving from something that's been taught from the ministry, the ministries of Minister Horry and Pastor Horry. So yeah, and then her style, her just her background of writing, I just knew, and I was telling her, I said, I want that R&B throwback 90s or throwback 80s actually feel, and she brought that, and she brought that. That song is amazing.
What'd you say? What'd you say? If I can't say a word, I just wave my hand. Wow.
She did that. You like
it, Kyria? Oh, Well, Tamika laid some awesome vocals. So I mean, that girl is just, so it's featuring Tamika Fogarty.
Yes.
And we were at a basketball game. Kyria's son and my sons, they play on the same team.
Okay.
And we are, I'm always, my husband was videoing that time. But so in between the little timeouts and stuff, we were talking about the movie. And so like Derrick said, he expressed how he heard this song. And man, one day I came downstairs and just put my hand on the keys, and boy, this chord progression took off, and I'm like, that'll work right there. I think that'll work right there. That's it. And yeah. So I believe, yeah, excited.
I hope you're gonna play it sometime. I don't know if you're gonna play it in this segment, but I know that song is awesome.
Oh yeah, they're gonna hear it. They heard it before this interview.
Okay.
Yes. And Tamika Fogarty actually stars in the film as well. The lady that's featuring in the I believe song, she also stars in the film as well.
Yep.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yep. Go ahead,
Kathy.
Okay. So take us through the process of selecting music, because you guys got great music on there.
Well, let me ask you, do we have time? I mean, I just want to make sure.
We got time.
Okay. It's so key. It's funny you said that, because when it really came down to this film, I mean, again, you learn from your as you do it, and I knew that I just wanted to have some type. I know we both wanted some type of soundtrack. Now, I'll be again, we not knowing what's gonna transpire from as we go along, but it started with Kathy, and where she came up with the song I Believe. And then we were shooting a segment for the film, and one of the stars, which is Kiana Bree, who plays Kelly, her sister had a song. She said, "Oh, my sister wrote a song." She just started playing it. Now, she didn't tell us about that it was going to be for the film. Now she said, "Hey, check out my sister. She sings too." And we just listening to it. And I was like, Kyria and I both said, "That's the song. That's the opening song to the film." And really, when I say that when I heard it, it painted how I wanted each opening scene for the film.
Wow.
And then not only that, and then we have Kiana Bree, who's also a great singer. She comes in with a song that we added to the film itself. So again, God is just answering, filling in the gaps for everything that we're desiring for the film, and it's actually been heard and seen through in the film. Like it's there. Like when I see this film or putting this piece together, it sounds so complete. It has production value. That's the best way I can say it. It has true production value.
It's everything. It's
not coming off like an old budget film, I can tell you that.
Exactly. When Minister Uri, she submitted hers, and then Kiana submitted hers, and I literally was sitting like in awe, like especially because of God, like we were saying even earlier in the segment, how God will just take something so small and make it so grand. Like I'm like, wow, people are really writing music to this film. And I mean, not just anybody. I'm talking about, we got Minister Uri, Kiana Bree, Tanya Coleman. I mean, literally, like, these women are phenomenal. I just always say sometimes people are just unheard. Like, seriously, they're so gifted, and the anointing that flows behind is just like, oh my God, like they working with us. They submit their songs to us. And it's such a blessing. It is such a blessing. It's an honor. I count it all joy. It's a privilege to work with them. And I am just so excited for everybody to hear what they are doing. This music is just, oh my God, it's everything. Y'all gonna be snapping your fingers, nodding your heads.
It just to sum it up too. I mean, even saying it that way, but I knew even for this film, I wanted it. Again, it's a holiday film, so everyone can resonate with a holiday film, and I wanted to feel like a holiday love movie. Love comedy, love drama, everything that goes along with it. Would you say dramedy?
Romantic.
A romantic comedy, really, a nice romantic love story, but just with the spirit of Christmas. And and I think you're going to feel that when you watch this film.
Awesome.
Amen. So I'm curious, the name of the song is I Believe, we're in this theme of believing. What are you guys believing for? It's a Christmas film, but it just in general, what are you two believing for?
Believing. I am actually believing that this is actually the film. I believe that this is the film where people are going to recognize who we are. They are going to accept that you can make God-ordained films and still have the feeling of, sometimes when, you get into faith-based films, and I'm just going to be honest, sometimes they kind of just feel just kind of stiff or,
corny.
It's just kind of like, but it's like we are bringing real life stories. I mean, things that people really, really deal with behind closed doors. And I mean, we want to paint the picture that, just because you're a Christian don't mean that you're just walking through the clouds and, everything is just perfect. And so we bring that real life to our films and letting people know, hey, we go through the same things, but if you put God in the midst of it, if you put him in it. So I believe that this is it. I believe that this is the film that's going to put us on the map.
She said it. I mean, that's actually, I agree. That's exactly how I feel. I really feel like this is that one. This is that one. And we're still learning. We're still learning through the process. But what I'm also recognizing too is we're learning our market. We're learning our audience, and our audience don't care what you're shooting with. Our audience, all they care about is, does it have a good story? Does it look good on film? I mean, does it look right? Meaning, like, if the lighting, I mean, they don't care about it. And is the acting good? And if you're giving them those things, they don't care if you shot it on an iPhone or if you shot it on an RE, motion picture standard. They don't care. They just want to see a good film.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amen.
Wow. Well, I tell you, time flies when you're having fun. I'm just elated about what's to come. We're excited for you all, and we're believing with you.
Yes.
And, you will continue to learn, stay open, stay in faith, and eyes have not seen, nor have ears heard those things that God has for you. You all, as you come together in the spirit of oneness. That's what's happening with you guys. You're on one accord. And where there's oneness, there's power.
Absolutely.
So in closing, Micayla and I, we're just thankful that you took the time to be with us. We want to ask this last question. How can we support you all? How can we support you? Yes, we will pray. And how can we support this film and get the word out? Do you have any ways to share with us?
Yeah. You want to go or me?
Then you.
All right. So basically, right now, so we will be eventually, like this week, and we meet every Thursday. And so on our calls, we're literally putting together plans on how we're going to market this film, as far as on social media, everything. So we need for everybody to share, get this word out. We need people to, just kind of put it out there, to their email databases, to share it on their Facebook, share it on their Instagram, share it on Twitter, share it everywhere, And as far as, sometimes people will just share, but we no, put a message with it. If you know that you've seen something prior that we've done before, tell the people, hey, I've seen their work before. They're phenomenal writers and directors, and they put together great projects. I will highly encourage you guys to watch this. So we just really, really will pray that our supporters will help us to just get the word out, help us to spread the word, because of course, everything happens by word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best form of advertisement. And whenever we have that final destination of where the film will be, because of course we are in COVID days, and so that changes a lot for what we were originally planning on doing. And so now we're figuring out exactly where you all will be able to see the film at. And once we put that out there, then we just need everybody to share it like crazy. Share it like crazy.
Oh, I know. I hope this is this word that I want to share, that it's encouraging to our listeners, because a lot of times we think we just have to pray and we just have to believe God, and then God's going to do it and he's going to do it. But what I hear you saying, I hear you rolling up your sleeves. I hear you saying it's time to get out. And yes, God is going to lead and he is going to do what he said he's going to do, but he's put so much in us that we have to do some things. We have
to do the work.
Yes,
exactly. We have to promote it. And so that's why we wanted to ask, because yes, he's going to do his part, but we have to get out and promote it.
Have to.
Well, I heard it says, you have not because you ask not.
All right.
I mean, we're still taking donations. And and that's through the CashApp for KMW Productions. So, and that's just how it sounds. The CashApp, KMW Productions. So we're still doing that.
We'll put it on the screen for everyone.
Yes, we will have the Cash App down below. We'll have the website so you can watch the trailer, learn everything you need to about A New Husband for Christmas. And
all the
we
links
will also. Okay. We got you.
All the links so that you can follow us.
Yes, we will have everything down below. Honestly, Derrick and Kyria, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for your obedience in carrying out the mission that God has, challenged you guys to. We can't wait to watch A New Husband for Christmas. We can't wait for our viewers to tune into this interview and watch A New Husband for Christmas. Make sure you guys go to the website to check out more information on A New Husband for Christmas. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Life Behind the Music. Make sure you like the show, comment below, and support Derrick and Kyria in their journeys. Kathy, you got anything else for the listeners?
Hey, this is a great one here. So we're looking forward to be with us on next week. Tell your friends and be with us next week.
This was fun. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.